Welcome to Hunting Pixels, the official video game podcast of Culture Bop. We've got a great show for you today. Sadly, we're once again without a third chair. That doesn't mean we won't talk about some awesome things. Austin's been getting his Spider-Man on in multiple ways. And Josh, me, has been delving into true crime. Not only that, but we will be breaking down our thoughts on Black Friday, the sales, and even a sort of buyer's guide to get you through the rough and tumble holidays. That all said, I am your host, the one and only Bebop Man, Josh McMullen, and I am joined by my co-host, Austin Midnight Madness Stevens. How's it going, sir?
What's up, Ann? Fuck, I got choked up.
Oh,
on like air.
Oh,
ugh, God, I hate when that happens. But yeah, what's up, man? I'm just vibing.
Rona that got you?
Hope not. You know what? Actually, that might not be such a bad thing. I get 2 weeks paid off of work, so that might not be the worst thing in the world. So
unless you die.
You're just making the deal sound sweeter, sir.
I mean, yeah.
Sweet release, am I right?
The sweet embrace of death.
Honestly, it'd be like that sometimes. You don't think that it do until you realize it do.
Until you realize that your entire world is falling apart at the age of 30 and you just want to stare at your maker in the face and say, let me into these pearly gates, and then he sends you straight to hell.
I just want you to know I went to go smack my thigh and I missed. And I accidentally smacked myself in the crotch.
Oh, boy.
And it hurts really fucking bad.
So you definitely want to get the Rona and die.
I'm sweating. Dude, that's like the worst thing in the fucking world. When you it got hit hard when you start sweating over it.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck.
Dude, was it Kayla? I don't know. Somebody asked me the other day, it was like, how is it that like a light tap on the balls is like really, really awful to men compared to like a kick? And I was like, I can't explain it to you. Like a kick is mostly, it's almost like you feel the pain from the kick itself.
Mm-hmm.
But like when you flick someone in the balls, it's like all of the
it's excruciating.
Yeah, it's awful, dude. And it's like right there in your testicle.
I would much rather take a full force kick to the crotch than somebody just like flicking it.
Yeah.
Dead ass.
Awful.
Because maybe it's because when you get kicked, like if somebody's foot hits you in the crotch a certain way, not only does your crotch hurt, but like kind of the area around your crotch hurts.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's just a flick in the testicle, like that, I might kill you. I'm not gonna lie. I might get up and kill you because that's a death sentence, sir. And that shit fucking hurts. Fun fact: did you know that if you get kicked or hit hard enough in the gooch, you will shit yourself?
Oh God!
Hell yeah!
How do you know that?
Personal experience, baby.
Oh Christ!
No, I looked it up. Because somebody told me that a couple of years ago, and I was like, bullshit. That's not fucking true. There's no way that's true. No, that's true. Because all of the muscles, God, I was going to say I'm trying to keep this as PG as possible, but that's not happening. It's hunting pixels. That's not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
I think we tried when we started, and then fuck happened like every other word, and it was just like, who cares anymore?
Speaking of that specifically, I have people tell me like, well, I mean, you've kind of said this before that like you feel like I'm quote unquote smart because of the way I talk.
Yeah.
But like people have told me that like I have a pretty extensive vocabulary and stuff like that. And like I had one person ask me once, they were like, so like you're pretty well spoken. You're, fairly intelligent, I would assume, based on like your use of words and stuff like that. Well, like, why do you muddy it up with like saying fuck every other word? And I was like, I don't know, man. It's like a good adjective. Like it spices everything up. I don't know what to tell you.
It does, dude. It's like putting fucking Chick-fil-A sauce on your chicken. It just spices everything up.
Oh God, no.
But no, like the muscles The muscles where your gooch is are actually directly attached to your anus.
Oh.
So if you get kicked there hard enough, it will actually send like shock feedback through those muscles and it will loosen your asshole. Another fun fact, you know, when you laugh like that, your sphincter actually pulses.
Yeah, that I actually did know.
Dude, it's crazy how when you're sitting down, you can feel it.
Yeah.
I don't know why I know so many facts about assholes, but I do.
It's probably because you are one. Boom.
I am what I eat, buddy.
Boy.
I'm not going to be as horny this episode as Dylan was last time.
Jesus he was Christ. So horny. Dylan's like, he's going to be officially from now on just the horny man on campus.
Yeah, he was really, he was acting. He just really needed a good blowjob.
I mean,
don't we all though?
Don't we all?
You know, man, woman, doesn't matter who gives it to you as long as you get one.
I mean, it might matter to some people, but
yeah, maybe. Or is it gay if a guy blows you? I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure by definition that it's gay. But
I think it's only gay if you're doing the blowing.
Okay. Gay. All right, Cartman.
I mean,
no, guys, it's all right because I put his mouth in my mouth. Is that gay?
No, I mean, head is
terrible.
Head is head, sir.
Head is head.
I think. Dude, I don't know. This conversation might be offensive to a small group of people.
So why don't we go ahead and start talking about other stuff?
Yeah, I'm cool
I'll talk about offensive stuff.
Okay, cool.
Eastbound and Down.
All right.
Have you ever watched Eastbound and Down?
I have not.
So it is.
I've heard of it, but I've never watched it.
It's a HBO original comedy that aired back in the late 2000s, I think.
Okay. I think I actually want to say Madison might have watched that.
Let's see. Eastbound and Down ended in 2013. So yeah, it started in 2009. So this is a show that I had heard about and I had seen memes from and I had seen clips from, and I had always thought that like everything I'd seen from it was funny, but I just never got around to it. But it's from from Danny McBride. So it's from the same family of creators who did, what was the two that I watched earlier this year? Oh God, it's killing me. The Righteous Gemstones and Vice Principals. And so we started watching it probably about a month ago, maybe a little bit longer. And we got through the first season and I was not vibing with it as much as I did the other two shows. But I was like, I'm gonna get through it. And then we got into the second season, and Caleb was like, I'm gonna dip out. I just don't like this. And I was like, all right, fair enough. So I kept watching it on my own, and it really, really picks up in the third season. I feel like towards the end of the second season, it starts getting like funnier, and like there's a little bit more like character growth with Danny McBride's character, but like. It really starts hitting its stride in season 3, I think. Like the episode I was just watching yesterday, I think. This motherfucker is dating a girl who looks like she's she looks like she's in college maybe. And so he's telling her that he's like, hey, we're having this nice date or whatever. Now we're going to go on the beach and we're going to fuck or whatever. And then he says something to her about, well, I actually ran out of time. So, and he gives her this analogy. He's like, in other words, only one of us is going to come. So why don't you get your...
Jesus.
He's like, so why don't you go get your shaved little pussy out of those shorts? And like, I don't know why, but dude, I just started laughing so hard. Like, I was like, this guy's such a fucking asshole. But anyway, yeah, it's very, very strange, and it is definitely offensive, and I think it's very funny.
Hell yeah. I might check that out. That sounds like something I'd be super into.
Yeah, so I don't know if I had ever told you about it, but do you know what the premise is?
No.
So basically, Danny McBride is Kenny Powers, who was like a former pro baseball pitcher who really got into like drugs and all that shit, and basically his career kind of like came to an end because he screwed it up himself, doing stupid shit, and then so he goes back to his hometown and becomes like a substitute PE teacher, and then finds out that he actually has a chance to be back in the majors, and then is kind of basically just following him around as like he kind of goes back up the ranks or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I would say definitely check it out. It kind of reminds me a little bit of I don't want to say South Park, but like it kind of reminds me of South Park in its like really offensive, but
like raunchy humor.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I am enjoying it, and
hell yeah,
I'm starting to recommend it. So
hell yeah. Well, I will definitely check that out. I've been looking for something funny to watch, so I'm actually I have one season left of Criminal Minds, and I think that's giving me depression.
Oh God!
So I'm definitely looking for something to perk me back up after watching that. So yeah, I'll check that out for sure. Is it on HBO Max?
It is, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out then. That sounds funny.
Well, why don't you tell me about Into the Spider-Verse, because you finally got around to watching it.
I did. I don't know why it took me 2 years, but it did. But I had never seen it. I have read plenty of Miles Morales like comics back in the day when they were coming out. Mm-hmm. And just because I was extremely excited for Miles Morales to finally come out, which we will talk about that a little later, I was like, you know what? I haven't seen it yet. Let me go ahead and watch Into the Spider-Verse, because it is on Netflix. I didn't think that an animated superhero movie would be my favorite superhero movie in general.
Damn.
I think that movie is absolutely fucking incredible. Literally from beginning to end, I think that movie is a fucking masterpiece as far as animated films go. I was reading that that movie took 4 years and 800 people working on it. And I didn't know that. And it fucking shows the animation style where they animated Miles in like a lesser frame rate from everything and everyone else to show as the movie goes on, he's getting like more comfortable with his powers. I thought that was really fucking cool. Yeah. And then the scene where he's on the side of the skyscraper, and, you know, it's got Peter's like monologue in the back of his head telling him that, you know, it's just a leap of faith, and he jumps off. The sight of the glass breaking from him still holding on to it, like basically saying he wasn't fully relaxed enough. Mm-hmm. And so he was still sticking to the glass when he jumped.
Yeah.
Dude, it's just all the little subtle shit in that movie that I thought was so fucking cool.
Oh, yeah, dude.
The animation style is just absolutely incredible.
I think that you mentioned this the other day when you were talking about, oh my God, what the hell's the name? I don't even fucking remember. Miles Morales, the video game. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were talking about how they animated it to slow like the frame rate for him and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But like, you know, in the movie, like the reason that his frame rate is like slowed compared to everyone else is like at the beginning, it's significantly slower to show like he is where he is, and then at the end, it's kind of sped up to where it's like on par with everything else. Yeah, showing like his journey, and like that little like detail is super subtle, but like if you watch it, it's like holy shit.
Mm-hmm. It's fascinating as hell, dude. And my kids love it. Both Josie and August. Fucking Josie is all about that movie. She fucking loves that film. And she literally pretty much anytime I played Miles Morales while she was awake, she was literally on the couch, like laying up against me watching it. Like she thinks Spider-Man is like the coolest fucking thing in the world, which I think is awesome because it's cool to me. That's literally my favorite Marvel superhero. I don't know if I like him more than Batman. I like how dark Batman gets. I like that Batman. I like the really like psychological kind of twisted stories that Batman brings to the table, whereas I feel like a lot of Spider-Man stories are more wholesome than anything.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, there are some dark Spider-Man stories.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like an alternate universe of Mary Jane dying from cancer from Peter's radioactive sperm. That's a thing. I didn't know that, but it is. And I think that's fucking weird, but... Yeah, Josie, after watching Into the Spider-Verse, Josie has literally been begging me for a Spider-Gwen costume.
Oh, that's cute.
And I did find one. The Disney store has one for like $20.
Oh, nice.
So
okay.
I might go pick that up. And then I saw on Target's website, they have the web shooters. But they're Spider-Gwen styled, like they're white with like the teal and the pink design over it.
Yeah,
so
that's cute.
Definitely going to try to grab her that as like, that's going to be part of her Christmas. Luckily, those web shooters, those are mostly just like what, silly string, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I remember when I had them as a kid, they were pretty much just silly string.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to get her some of that. But yeah, Into the Spider-Verse, man, it literally easily became my favorite superhero movie. I don't know what about Miles' character or Miles' story in particular has fascinated me so much, but it really has. But I think that as far as Miles' character goes, especially in Into the Spider-Verse, they do a very good job at separating him from Peter and showing that the only similarity between them are their powers and the costume they wear. But underneath that mask, they are two entirely different people who come from two entirely different backgrounds. And I think that that's really cool that Miles didn't just eventually turn into a Peter Parker clone.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Because I feel like that's one of the biggest problems with characters who take on the names of already established characters in comics. Like, they kind of tend to lose their individuality and just become clones of that previous character. And so I'm glad that Miles never took that route.
Yeah, I agree.
But, yeah, it's a fantastic movie. If anyone hasn't seen it, I can't really make fun of you for it because it took me 2 years to watch it, but definitely go check it out.
Yeah.
Fantastic movie.
Go see it. Or, well, not go see it. Just fucking buy it. Whatever.
Turn on your TV. It's on.
Turn on your fucking TV.
It's on Netflix. I actually do want to buy it though. If I'm ever just like out and I find a Blu-ray copy of it, I probably will just buy it.
Do it.
Probably will.
So I watched another HBO Max thing. This is actually.
God, what's up with you and HBO Max recently?
Dude, they have some really great shit, man. I don't know.
They do. I'll give it, maybe except for the DC movies, but they do.
So, I've been kind of on a, I don't want to say a true crime kick, but yeah, I've been on a true crime kick. I was talking about it in the last episode. We've been watching Murder on Middle Beach. And it only had one episode, but the second episode came out Sunday, so we watched it. But while we were on there, excuse me, boy, what is? I think the podcast makes me gassy.
I don't know, bro, but it's every episode.
It's every episode now. Anyway, so we watched Class Action Park, which was like a little documentary. I think was specifically for HBO Max. And then we kind of were like, well, let's just keep with the documentary stuff. Started watching the Murder on Middle Beach. And then I came across the case against Adnan Syed. And I was familiar with this because I had tried Serial when Serial kind of became huge in 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get into the podcast. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was her voice, or maybe it was like the way she delivered like the information and stuff. But I couldn't get into it. But I was aware of what was going on. And so when I saw this, I was like, okay, let me watch this, because like then I can get an idea of like what the case is about, blah, 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 blah. And so it's a 4-part little mini series. It came out in, I think, early last year, but basically it follows the case of Adnan Syed, who he was accused of killing his ex-girlfriend in, I think it was like January of 1999.
Yeah.
And he was this, it was in, I think Baltimore. I'm pretty sure it was Baltimore. Anyway, and basically he got accused of strangling his ex-girlfriend, and then the documentary really follows like the kind of case that was built up against him, as well as like his journey through the entire process of like the appellate courts and stuff like that. And true crime documentaries like Making a Murderer and this, I find them to be fascinating for a number of reasons. But the number one reason I think is that I think a lot of people, when they watch these documentaries, or really documentaries in general, think that there's like objective truth in them and that the filmmakers are being truly objective. But I don't think that is ever the case with documentaries, regardless of what the subject matter is. Because documentary filmmaking is still filmmaking, which is still a storytelling apparatus. So your goal as a documentarian is to tell a story. Most documentarians are factual but not truthful, if that makes sense. Yeah. So they'll give you facts about things that happen, but they'll distort it in such a way that like you think you're being told the truth, but really it's just you're being given facts.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of is the case in this documentary as well. Or have you seen Making a Murderer?
Maybe.
It's on Netflix.
Maybe I have. I think me and Madison have watched it.
Okay. So I think both of those really kind of fall in the same category, where like they give you facts and they give you the facts that support the story that they're trying to tell, if that makes sense. I haven't looked into all of the stuff against Adnan in this case specifically, but I feel like the filmmaking was very biased towards him, and I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing, because like I said, documentarians are storytellers, but I am fascinated with the idea that people look at documentaries and say, oh, this is what happened. This is the truth. Like, you know what I mean? When like you're not there, you weren't there. There's no way for you to possibly know, what's going on other than the people who were there. And you're being given facts to make you think that this is what actually happened, but it may not actually be what happened. Yeah. But I think that this one in particular does a pretty good job of showing the inconsistent, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like the way that the police would go through their investigation and how like inconsistent their story lines up with what was actually supposed to be happening. And again, like, we may not have been there, so we may not know, but like at least these facts lay out a case that like makes sense. Whereas I feel like there are certain things that like in Making a Murderer, for instance, there are things that are just left out completely that like kind of change the relationship that you're supposed to be looking at. But yeah, overall, I think it's really competently made. There are some parts that I'm just like, this is a little overly scripted for me. Like there are parts where the documentarians are sitting with the lawyer for Adnan, and he's like talking to them, and it's supposed to be like unscripted or whatever. And so like he gets a call all of a sudden. He's like, okay, I need you guys to get out because you're not supposed to be privy to this information. It's like, you guys kind of set this up. Like, I don't know how this is supposed to be like a, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But overall, I think it's a very fascinating series about a case that I had little knowledge of outside of like a cursory sort of glance at. And I think you should check it out for anyone who's interested in true crime stuff.
Word. Me and Madison will probably check it out. Madison, for whatever fucking reason, she can't watch horror movies, but she can watch actual crime drama all fucking day.
Yeah.
Shit doesn't make sense to me at all, but whatever. Yeah. I'll take what I can get. You know?
Yeah, for sure. Well, with that said, tell me, not only did you watch Spider-Verse, but you ran through all of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies?
I ran through all of the Tobey Maguire films, all of the Andrew Garfield films, and both of the Tom Holland films.
Oh, damn. So
yeah, I watched them all. They're actually all on Hulu if you have the Stars add-on.
Okay.
So, wow. I have a lot to say about these fucking movies, dude. So, when it comes to the Tobey Maguire movies, I feel like I've done that specific franchise a disservice. Yeah, I was always like, oh, dude, fuck the ball. All of those movies are garbage. They're all fucking terrible. That's not true. Only the third one is garbage. I will stand by that. The third one is fucking hot-ass garbage.
I genuinely don't think so, but...
I think their portrayal of Venom was like the worst fucking thing in the movie. Maybe it's just because it had homeboy from that 70s show as Eddie Brock, and maybe that's what I fucking hated. Because I'm going to be honest. I get shit for this. I do not like that 70s show. I do not think that show was funny.
Ooh, really?
I don't. I do not think that show was funny at all. I don't think any of the people on there are good fucking actors. And I know there's some A-listers like fucking Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. I think they're funny. I think like those two specific actors are funny, but I don't think anyone else on that show is funny. Hot take for the day, I guess. I know that's a very unpopular opinion.
I haven't watched it since I was probably in high school, but I remember genuinely liking like the first probably like 3 or 4 seasons.
Yeah, it's not even that I don't like it either, man. It's just like, just don't care about it. It's one of those that everybody fucking loves, and then you watch it for yourself and you're like, I don't get it. I don't get why this has the cult following that it does.
Yeah, fair.
I'm gonna be honest. I feel the same way about Scott Pilgrim.
You shut your fucking mouth.
No, so I think Scott Pilgrim is a funny movie. Don't get me wrong. I think that movie. I think in certain parts, I think that movie is fucking hilarious, and I do think it's a good movie. But I don't understand the cult following behind it. I guess if that makes sense.
You're allowed to be wrong.
Like it's not a movie that I would routinely go out of my way to watch like some people do.
Oh, I would definitely do that with Scott Pilgrim. I think that movie's fantastic.
Like I know dudes who genuinely watch that movie once a week.
I don't know about all that.
And I'm like maybe once every 6 months when I'm really feeling it. And yeah, but it's a fun movie to watch with friends over and shit. Like, it's funny. But whatever. I'm not talking about Scott Pilgrim. I'm talking about Spider-Man. The first movie, when I went back and rewatched it, I think that movie has a lot of blatant edit issues. Maybe it was a mixture of... I know a specific section of that movie did have to be reshot because it had the Twin Towers in the scene. And I know that had to be edited and taken out. And it was pretty rushed to do that. Because that movie came out early 2002?
Yes.
So Yeah, and it was obviously 9/11 was September 11th, 2001. So I know that there were some things that had to be very quickly adjusted and changed. So I can kind of forgive that. However, like there's the scene where the Green Goblin busts into the Daily Bugle and he's asking for pictures of Spider-Man. He knocks Spider-Man out. Spider-Man is supposed to be falling like 30 feet, but the moment he clears that window, you can hear a loud, audible thud of him hitting the ground. The moment he clears that window. And it's not even like they tried to polish it and cover that up, because they fucking did not. There's a lot of scenes where it's like a very close-up shot of Green Goblin's face, and Green Goblin's talking, but his mouth is physically not moving. Like, it's just closed. Like, obviously, it's just like a voiceover. And it's kind of the same thing with Spider-Man. Like, there's a lot of scenes in the first movie where he's visibly talking, but, like, there's no sign of his jaw and his face moving at all whatsoever. You know, maybe that was just, like, an emergent thing. Maybe they did that for a reason. But the first movie, I feel like, is genuinely good. I don't think it's a masterpiece or anything by any stretch of the imagination, but it's definitely nostalgic, and I don't think superhero movies would be where they are now without the Sam Raimi trilogy.
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Like especially Marvel. I don't think we would have the MCU the way we do if the Sam Raimi trilogy didn't happen. So, the second movie was good. The second movie with Doc Ock, it's good. I don't think it's as good as the first one.
That's fucking crazy.
However, I think overall, I don't think it's as good as the first one. However, there are a lot of scenes in the second movie that I think were better than anything that came out of the first movie.
Okay.
Like the train scene, where he's trying to stop the train and he falls. Like, he obviously is unconscious from pain or whatever, and the civilians pick him up and they're like carrying him almost like a fucking guardian angel, like, to the back of the plane, and the kids bring him his mask. That scene is wholesome as fuck, and I think that scene was beautiful, and I think it was very well done.
Yeah. I'm going to say something that might be controversial. I think Spider-Man 2 might be the best superhero film of the 2000s.
Really?
Or like from the year 2000 up until now. I think it might be the best
really
film. Yep.
So do you think that Tobey Maguire was a better Spider-Man than Tom Holland?
Actually, hang on. Let me also, sorry.
No, you're
live
good. You're fine. Okay.
I want to throw that caveat in there because I think I'd like Into the Spider-Verse better than Spider-Man 2.
So, do you think? Let me just ask you this: Who is your favorite live action portrayal of Spider-Man? Like, who? Nostalgia aside, don't take nostalgia into consideration. Just their acting capabilities as actors.
Oh, well, I mean, that's a different question though, because if we want to go that route, then it's definitely Andrew Garfield. I think Andrew Garfield is the most
really
of the three. Yeah. Like,
what?
I like Tom Holland. I genuinely do, but like, of the three who have played him, in terms of acting ability, I don't think it's a question that it's Andrew Garfield.
Huh. I'm gonna be honest. I actually like Andrew Garfield the least of the three.
Oh, in these movies, yes.
Okay, so you're talking. Honestly, I've never seen another movie with Andrew Garfield that I know of.
Oh, okay. Well,
he was in Social Network, right?
He was in The Social Network. He's fan-fucking-tastic in it.
I've heard that he's really good in that movie.
He's in a movie called Under the Silver Lake that for literally is probably of the last decade. So from like 2010 to 2019 is top 5 movies for me, and he's fucking phenomenal in it. He's a very talented actor.
Damn. Yeah. Maybe I should watch some of his other movies then.
But so let me put it this way. I think Tom Holland fits the role in terms of the boyish sort of like down on his luck.
Yeah.
Like
Like,
I'm learning how to do this sort of thing.
Okay.
I think he fits that mold, but I think that Tobey Maguire gives the better Peter Parker and Spider-Man performance combined.
Okay.
I think that it's... I hate to say this because it's going to sound like a bad... Like, I don't mean it to sound bad.
Yeah.
But I think that Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Peter Parker are held back by the movies that he's in. Like, if Tom Holland was doing the stuff that Tobey Maguire was asked to do in his 2 Spider-Man movies, I think Tom Holland would be the definitive Spider-Man.
And you know what? I agree with you. I think that Tom Holland's portrayal of the character was honestly handicapped by Tony Stark's role.
Yes, wholeheartedly.
I think it was heavily handicapped because that was never what Spider-Man starting out was about. He wasn't getting help. He wasn't getting help from Iron Man. He wasn't getting help from S.H.I.E.L.D. He wasn't getting help from other prominent heroes. He was doing this all on his own. Like, he genuinely felt like he was holding New York on his shoulders.
Yes, which is exactly why I like those first 2 movies.
And that's a completely fair point. And I actually think that I agree with you more or less. I think that obviously due to the time period and technology, I think visually, I think the Tom Holland films are definitely the most fun out of all the movies. But I don't know, man. There's something about Tobey Maguire's performance that, although I do think there are some extremely cringy quips and scenes in those movies, I genuinely, I'm starting to change my opinion over Tom Holland being the best live portrayal. I'm kind of starting to lean more towards Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
Just because of what those movies brought to the table. And
I think again, like, I think that has to do with the films themselves. Like, I think
I agree. And I think that's why Andrew Garfield's films were as bad as they were. I don't think it was Andrew Garfield necessarily being a terrible actor.
Honestly, I think that he's the best thing about those movies.
Like, I agree. I like the first one. I could not watch the second one again in like the next 5 years.
So fucking bad.
So do you agree that that's the worst Spider-Man movie is the second one?
Oh, by
the second Andrew Garfield.
Mile.
Yeah, that was fucking terrible. They did Rhino so fucking dirty in that movie. It's unreal.
So dirty, dude.
I will give it that. I do think that scene with the kid, I think that scene is really cute and wholesome. Mm-hmm. But fucking Rhino. Dude, they butchered that fucking character.
Oh, yeah.
And I can see why Andrew, because I remember reading that after the second movie came out, Andrew Garfield was just furious with the whole fucking franchise, and I understand it, dude. They did him a disservice with those movies.
Yeah, those movies are... The first one, I think, has a lot of, like, really good potential stuff that is, like, hampered by the need to, like... Well, one, I don't really think that the CGI holds up all that much, but like
I agree with you.
I think that there's a knee.
I almost think the CGI in the Tobey Maguire films is better than the Andrew Garfield films.
I think so too,
and I don't get that at all. I remember seeing the second one in theaters with my mom when I was in high school.
Oh,
and I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
I hated it every fucking minute of it.
And I don't want to go on a diatribe. I'm gonna stop myself. That movie is so fucking bad. Like on every
level. Yeah, it's a bad movie.
You get to the point where fucking oh my god, what's her name?
Gwen Stacy.
Gwen Stacy, when she dies, and you're supposed to feel something, and the entire time I was like, why? Why do I fucking care? Like, whole,
why should I give a shit about this at all?
Yeah, it's just like, I don't get it. But anyway.
I think that was extremely... I get what they were trying to go for. Like, that was an extremely emotional part for that specific iteration of Peter's character. Mm-hmm. Because obviously in the first movie, you know, he promises her dad that he's going to keep her safe, and then she fucking dies because of him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So have you seen the deleted scene from that film of him meeting his father at a graveyard after she dies?
No, but that sounds so bad.
It's so bad. It's so bad. It ruined that. I was like, there's a reason why this scene got deleted from the movie.
All right.
However, in Tom Holland's defense, the MCU does kind of rectify their Tony Stark daddy role.
Oh yeah. The problem I have isn't necessarily that it's like Tony Stark and not Uncle Ben, because he plays the same role.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, because especially when you watch Far From Home, like the death of Tony affects Peter in a very similar way to Uncle Ben's death.
Yeah.
So like he's the stand-in there, and I don't have a problem with that per se, but I do have a problem with the fact that like you said earlier, Spider-Man stories are about Spider-Man being alone and him learning to like overcome his own issues or whatever.
Yeah, not having somebody help him.
Exactly. And that's where those movies went wrong for me.
I agree. I do think they're fun. I think they're really good, but honestly, I think they suffer from a lot of issues that the entire rest of the MCU has.
Oh, yeah. That's another thing. It's like, I think that they might be those two movies in particular are definitely within my top probably 7 or so.
Okay.
MCU movies with Homecoming probably being in the top 3.
Yeah.
But and the reason that I like them more than some of the others is because I feel like they do kind of stand out. But like Far From Home specifically feels very much within the same vein of what the rest of the MCU is. And like the MCU as a whole feels very samey.
Yeah.
And that's my problem up until recently, when they started doing like, you know, Black Panther felt like a very like distinctive vision in terms of like, you know,
I agree.
It had a black voice, you know what I mean?
I agree.
I have some very real problems with like the structure of the story, and I think that the story itself is very like boilerplate, but
not that good.
I mean, it's just the same superhero origin story.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And it is.
It's just the same, but like it has a very distinct black voice behind it, which I think is good. I think that oh my God, I'm trying to think of the
what happened to the Morbius movie?
I think that it got postponed because of the Rona.
Okay, because I remember seeing the trailer for that, and I was disappointed that it was Jared Leto, but I thought it looked cool.
Yeah, I think that movie looked fine. Like,
yeah, it doesn't look great, but it doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
It looks like it'll be it looks like it'll be kind of what Venom was. It's not good, but it's not bad.
Yeah, I feel you.
Even though I will admit that I did like Venom much more than I initially thought that I would.
It's all right.
Really?
Yeah.
I like it. I think it has potential, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
I think the anti-hero thing is interesting. I think that's a super interesting take.
For sure.
I'm not going to lie. I am, at this point, burned out on the MCU.
Yeah. No, I feel you. So the thing I was going to say is like Thor Ragnarok is another one that feels different, and the Guardians of the Galaxy movies feel like they're different, but everything else kind of feels like the same, and that's why I'm kind of burnt out. Like to your point, like I'm kind of burnt out on them because they're all just the same fucking movie. Like I don't feel like any of the even like the ones that are like touting something different, like with the exception of probably Black Panther. You know, like Ant-Man was supposed to be like a comedy, so like. It just kind of feels the same. Captain Marvel just felt the same. Avengers Endgame was like a very fitting conclusion to the whole saga, and I think actually stands out amongst the quote unquote Avenger movies as doing something different. Like the whole first, I don't know, probably like 30 minutes of that movie where it's just them taking a look at the world after the snap is really fucking interesting. And then kind of goes back into the whole like,
this is a Marvel movie.
Exactly.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
So with that being said, what is your favorite Marvel movie of the MCU?
It's it switches between the two, but right now I'm gonna go Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
I agree with you.
I think that movie
is amazing.
Like that is one of the ones that I think feels kind of different. It's a spy thriller. I mean, it's just
it's like it's literally a superhero movie and a political drama.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it's fantastic because of that. It still has the superhero tropes, but it also was like a breath of fresh air from every fucking MCU movie that's come before it, and honestly, fucking after it.
I think so too.
Like, people shit on me all the time when I say that I genuinely think Winter Soldier is a better movie than Endgame is.
Oh, I fucking wholeheartedly agree with that.
I think that Endgame, like you said, I think Endgame was a very fitting conclusion. But it suffers from every other fucking movie in the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
It suffers from the same shit that every fucking movie in the franchise does. But with that being said, back to Spider-Man. I almost forgot we were even fucking talking about that and turned into a Marvel roast. Yeah, I gotta say, I genuinely feel disappointed in myself that I've shit on the Tobey Maguire films for so long. I'll still shit on the third one.
I've been telling you, man. I've been telling you. Dude, hang on. Here's the thing about the third one. Before you continue to shit on it, the third one still has more inventive stuff in it than both of the
Amazing Spider-Man.
Both of the Amazing Spider-Mans. And I would maybe make a case that it is more inventive and has more interesting stuff than Far From Home.
I don't know about that.
Maybe.
That's a reach. That is a reach.
The
film suffered from the film suffered from them trying to do too much in one movie.
Oh yes, very much.
Honestly.
So. And the thing about 3 specifically is that they didn't want to do half the stuff that they did.
No,
you know
they didn't.
I mean? Like,
have you seen the leaked script that leaked a couple months ago for the 4th film?
I never read it, but I saw that it had leaked.
Oh boy. It's like they took everything they did wrong in 3 and they amped that up by like 10. Yeah, it was not going to be a good film.
So the thing that I think really turned 3 astray was the producer Avi Arad. He was, from my understanding, basically what happened was Sam Raimi came in and said, I want to do this story about Sandman, and I want to kind of tie it into like how Sandman is basically a inverse of Peter Parker sort of thing. Like, and then Avi Arad comes in and is like, well, see, Sandman won't really sell toys, and we got to sell toys. So you got to put Venom in the movie. And not only do you have to put Venom in the movie, but you also got to have like the Hobgoblin or you got to bring Green Goblin back or something like that. We got to sell toys. And then like Sam Raimi was like, I really don't want to do that. And he's like, well, you're contractually obligated to this third movie. You got to do what I tell you to do. So you got to put these people in the movie.
Dude, the leaked script for the 4th film had like Scorpion, Vulture, Rhino, and Black Cat in one fucking movie.
That's a lot. That is a lot.
And I was like, you can't do that. Please stop it. I will say, one of the things I like the most about all these different Spider-Man movies is every single one of them has brought a brand new villain to the table.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't, like, The Amazing Spider-Man had Lizard. I mean, it also had Goblin, but I don't want to talk about that interpretation. It was fucking terrible. It had Electro, which was also really bad.
Yeah.
And that's not to say Jamie Lee Fox is a bad actor, because he is not. But he was given a very shitty role.
Yes,
in a very shitty film.
I agree with that.
I feel that way about about most of the big actors in the Amazing Spider-Man duo. Like Emma Stone. Emma Stone is not a bad actor. I don't think she's great.
No, not at all.
But I don't think she's bad either. I think she's very good at what she does. But I feel like everyone in that movie was held back by that movie.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I feel like they weren't allowed to use their full acting chops, which is sad. But yeah, I do like that every film brought a new villain to the table. So one last thought, and then we can move on for sure, because I feel like we've been on this for way too fucking long.
Yeah, we got sidetracked with the MCU talk.
But so how do you feel about the leaks and rumors of the next Spider-Man, of the next Tom Holland film being a live action Spider-Verse interpretation? Like, because there's leaks that Tobey Maguire has signed back on and Andrew Garfield has signed back on. Obviously, there's no proof, but with them recasting Jamie Lee Foxx as Electro, with that being confirmed, I think that's definitely a possibility. So how do you feel about that idea?
I'm not completely against it because I'm pretty sure that Doctor Strange is supposed to make an appearance, and
yeah, he's confirmed to be part of the film.
Okay, and that would be, I think, how they tie everything in with his ability to, see. I mean, his next movie is called In the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah. So
like he's able to go through the multiverse, right? So I think that's how it will tie in, and I don't think that is really all that bad of an idea. My only concern is that Tobey Maguire is kind of old at this point. Like he is. Hang on, I'm going to look this up.
He's in his 40s, right?
Yeah. Yes, he's 45. I don't.
Well, I mean, so are you, but
right. So I mean, I guess you could still do it because technically, Into the Spider-Verse, that version of Peter is an older Peter, right? Mm-hmm. That is kind of Miles Morales' sort of like mentor. So I mean, you could probably do that and make it work, but that's really my concern is that he's too old at this point to be in that same sort of whatever. But
I agree with you.
I think the idea is good though, because I do I genuinely love that original trilogy. I think that they're all great movies, or good to great movies.
Except for 3.
Well, I'm including 3. And I think that the first Amazing Spider-Man has a lot of really, really
potential.
Yes, yeah.
It's got a lot of good potential behind it, but it didn't stick the landing. It was like making a really fancy jump and then breaking your neck at the end of it.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Oh God.
That's how I feel about that.
Yeah. So we'll see. For sure.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I look forward to it.
You know what I don't look forward to?
Let me guess. Black Friday, because you work retail.
You nailed it, sir. I was actually telling someone, I might have been you.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I've worked retails in some form or fashion since 2007. So, almost 15 years I have worked retail.
Oh my God. Fuck every bit of that, dude. I worked in Hot Topic for 6 months and wanted to put a bullet in my mouth, so I can only understand how 15 years. So let me ask, have you worked for Target for 15 years?
Oh, no.
Okay. Because that's stupid. I remember you saying you used to be like a chef or a cook somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or something.
I worked at Puma for 7 years.
God, I can't imagine you trying to sell me shoes.
Dude, I loved that job.
Really?
That's a whole nother story for another time. But yeah, I genuinely loved working at Puma.
Okay.
I hated my boss at the end, but which is the entire reason that I left. But yeah.
I enjoyed Hot Topic for the most part, believe it or not.
I mean, they can be fun. Oh God, we're getting sidetracked again.
Yeah. Anyway, Black Friday.
Anyway, so every year around this time, it never fails that people crawl out of their beds after a long day of eating turkey, and they go out to do holiday shopping. Whether or not this is the ideal thing is not really debatable because people do it regardless. Mm-hmm. So, in that spirit, we have decided, not only in the spirit of that, but also in the spirit of being as obnoxious as possible. That's
what we do.
Yeah, we decided we would feed into the horrible reality that is Black Friday, and we're going to run through some of the sales for the video games, give our feedback, and hopefully give you, the listener, something to think about as you go into the holiday season. So right here, I wrote down some of the standout sales that you talked about with me last night. I couldn't remember them all because I'm an idiot, but
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, these are the ones that really stood out to us.
Yeah, I've got my list too.
Okay.
Of what I felt like really stood out.
Rogue Squadron is $20 at Best Buy, where I think it's 24 everywhere else, right?
It's 16 at GameStop.
Oh, 16 at GameStop. Okay, so it's even cheaper there. Watch Dogs Legions is half off. Persona 5 Royale is $20, which is like $40 off.
Which is a fucking steal if you've never played that game.
If you not only equate time and quality and all that stuff, because like I know people are like, well, how long's the game? I shouldn't spend this much money on or shouldn't spend $60 on a game that's only 10 hours. Like, I think that's a bullshit argument, but if you want your full time's worth of money, but also the full like quality, Persona 5 Royal is well worth the money.
Oh yeah, for $20, dude. I paid $60 for it like a month ago, so
I think it's worth the 60.
I do too, wholeheartedly.
Doom Eternal is $20, normally 60, and then the three big PlayStation exclusives of this year, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, and The Last of Us 2 are all $30.
Where did you find Ghost of Tsushima for $30?
It should be on the PlayStation Store. Let me pull it back up and just double check.
Really? Sure. Okay. Well, then I'll buy it off there because the cheapest I was able to find it was $40 at GameStop.
Oh, you know what? It is $40.
Oh, $40. Shit. That's still really good, and I'll still buy it for that price.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
I don't know why I was thinking it was $30. I don't know.
Because you're goofy.
Yeah, that is actually accurate. But even still, like, I mean, it's $40. It's only $10 more than the other ones. And it did technically only come out like 3 months ago.
Yeah. Whereas
The Last of Us was like 5 months ago. So anyway, you said you had some other ones, right?
Yeah. Fire Emblem 3 Houses being only $30 at GameStop. Fucking jump on that.
Yes.
That is a phenomenal title for $30.
And it's got like at the very least you've got 3 different playthroughs that you can do. At the very
absolutely.
Least.
And the one playthrough already is fucking long as hell.
Yep.
So you're definitely getting your $30 worth. Another one that I thought was really good was, if you haven't played them yet, I could say that I don't know what you're doing, but I'm in the same fucking boat as you, so I get it. God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, and The Last of Us Part 1 are seemingly $10 everywhere, all across the board, at all major retailers, including the PlayStation Network. So, dude, $30 for those 3 titles like that, that's worth it. That's a fucking steal in its own. Outer Worlds is going to be $20 at GameStop, which if you don't have an Xbox, that's really fucking cool. Pretty much that only matters if you have a PlayStation. I'm going to be honest. If you have a PC, you obviously probably more than likely aren't dumb and have Game Pass Ultimate. Whereas if you have an Xbox, you're also probably not dumb and have Game Pass Ultimate. So you play that and Doom Eternal for free. I don't think Doom Eternal has quite made it to Game Pass Ultimate. I think it's just regular Game Pass for now. I think it's coming soon, though. They did promise it'll be before the end of 2020 that it'll be on Game Pass Ultimate as well. So, we'll see. But, love it or hate it, dude, the Kingdom Hearts all-in-one package for $20 at Best Buy and GameStop
is a very good deal.
It's a very good fucking deal. There's easily 1,000 hours of playtime, if not more. Easily. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there fucking has to be. Those games are stupidly fucking long. Well, maybe not 1,000. Maybe I'm overshooting it. I would say roughly maybe 600. I would say 600 is a better number because I know some of the DS titles and the PSP title really aren't that long. They're like maybe 20, 30 hours.
Yeah, but they're still, I mean, the overwhelming majority of those games are like 50 to 60 hours at least.
Yeah. Kingdom Hearts 2 is easy 60 to 75 hours, I would say. Easy. So that's definitely worth it if you've never played them before. But also that only matters if you don't have an Xbox. Mm-hmm. So, because fun fact, all Kingdom Hearts titles are on Game Pass now. So,
yep.
I'm mad about it. Because I bought them on Xbox when the day they came out, and I'm fucking mad about it. So, what other one? Was there another one that I felt like really stand out? I actually legitimately think we just covered all the big ones.
There's one that I didn't put down, but I should have. Control Ultimate Edition, which is Control the base game, plus the 2 DLCs, plus the upgrade to next gen.
Okay.
Is on sale for $20.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
Yeah. And Control is one of my favorite games of last year. That game, if you've never played a Remedy game, including like Max Payne or whatever, I think Control is like the perfect jumping in point because it is a perfect summation of everything that studio does correctly.
Word. Tight. I've always wanted to play that game, and I didn't see that sale, so that's really cool.
Yeah,
I might have to hop on that.
It's a very, very, very good game.
Hell yeah. Because I do plan on purchasing a PS5 this week if I can get my hands on one. And I have like $150 gift card to GameStop that I just haven't used yet. Mm-hmm. So I'm probably going to pick up Demon Souls.
Okay.
And so that means my PS5 is going to end up smashed in my driveway more than likely. But
that brand new $500 machine, yo.
I definitely am going to take advantage of some of those $10 sales too, and pick up some of those classics. Ghost of Tsushima is a fucking must for me right now, though. I physically feel an overwhelming urge to play that title.
It's very, very good.
Hell yeah. I might definitely. Honestly, dude, I might even trade in my 1X just to get extra money to buy some of this shit with. I'm not going to front.
I mean, that's totally fair.
Because once I have this PS5, dude, I really don't see myself using my 1X all that often.
Again, totally fair.
And Madison said something. She was like, "Are you sure you want to get rid of your Xbox? Like, do you know how much money you've spent digitally on that fucking console?" And I was like, it'll all still be on my account when I get a Series X. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, just because I trade in the console doesn't mean I fucking delete all my shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
out of your account. So
yeah, and I have to keep Game Pass Ultimate anyway for my PC. So.
Yep, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we mention Avengers earlier? Because Avengers is half off of like every edition.
Is that a title people care about?
Well, that to some people it is.
I don't know why. Another big thing. Nintendo has put some of their illustrious first-party titles on sale for $40, and those being Link's Awakening, Luigi's Mansion 3, and Super Mario Maker 2. Not gonna lie, could not give a shit about those last two. But Link's Awakening is cool. Super Mario Maker 2 and Luigi's Mansion 3.
Oh, I don't know, man. The people who make Super Mario levels with Super Mario Maker, like, have you watched some of the?
Oh, yes, I have, and they're insane.
Incredible.
They are,
like,
yeah.
I'm like, you guys should fucking work for Nintendo. You honestly, guys build the next Mario game.
You guys are doing better than they are. Honestly, but no, I'm not gonna lie. Is Mario Maker 2 I am interested in it, but dude, my Switch has been put on the back burner for like the last 2 months. I have legitimately been taking my Switch to work every day with me for like the last 2 years. Pretty much since I've got one in 2018. And I'm not joking, even though it's been with me all day at work, I don't think my Switch has been turned on in like since I finished the Crown Tundra.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't played anything on it. I have not touched it whatsoever.
Damn, dude.
And I don't know why. Like, it's just, I tried to play Pokemon Let's Go the other day because I was trying to do a playthrough of that. And I'm so fucking burnt out on Pokemon right now. It's unreal. I tried to finish my Let's Play of Shield, and I can't bring myself to do it, bro. I'm just burnt out on it right now.
I mean, that's totally fair.
So maybe I'll go back to it in a year. Maybe, who knows? Like, honestly, it's so bad that I've contemplated selling my Switch. I'm like so burnt out on Nintendo.
Damn, Mr. Nintendo guy over here.
I'm just burnt out on everything that they're doing right now. I'm not gonna do that because I know that would be a stupid fucking decision. I'm not gonna sell either of my Switches. I've got the just normal V2, and then I have the Animal Crossing one.
Yeah.
I don't plan on selling either one of them. I have some cool shit. Maybe I'll pick the Switch back up when they port that first Fire Emblem game over. Maybe that'll get me light the fire under my butthole to turn that bitch on again. I'm serious, dude. My Switch has not even been turned on in 3 weeks.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, like it's just, I don't know, man. PlayStation has just got me hooked right now.
Yeah.
So
fair enough.
Trying to play through some of these games that came out this year. Just couldn't give a fuck about Nintendo, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do with it. I took the dock out of my living room too, honestly.
Gotcha.
Both of my docks are now set up in the game room, and I don't spend anywhere near as much time in here as I should. So I think that's got a lot to do with it. I think it's just my PS4 is more accessible to me than usual. Because I don't come in here unless the kids are asleep. Well, at least August, because August crawls around and likes to yank things off my shelves and make a fucking mess. So Josie, she's a little more chill. She just kind of sits down. I don't think you haven't been over here since I put the couch in here.
Oh, yeah. No, I haven't.
Yeah, I got a couch. I got a couch in here now, and it's super comfy.
Nice.
It's actually the couch from a vape bar, that vape shop I worked at. It's their couch.
Oh, yeah, you told me about that.
Yep, I took it. They said they were just going to throw it away, and I was like, bro, I got too many memories on this couch for you to throw this shit away.
No, sir.
So my buddy Sean, who also worked with me there, we loaded it up in his truck. And I was going to try to take both, but I did not have the room for both. So, yeah, Nintendo, you're dropping the ball. Step it up. Get on PlayStation's level. I think I'm turning into a PlayStation fanboy this year. I'm just loving everything that they're doing right now, honestly. But that's a story for another time.
Yeah. So, part of the thing that I think we wanted to do with this as like sort of a like buyer's guide, I mean, are there things that stand out to you that like I don't want to speak for the people who are like the hardest of the hardcore because they know what they're getting, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, this is more for the more casual gamer.
Yeah. So those people and like the parents, what are some that you think that stand out good things to pick up?
I definitely think, even though it's only $20 off, I definitely think if you haven't had the chance to play it yet, Ghost of Tsushima is a very standout title as far as these Black Friday sales go. And I'm saying that, and I haven't even played it yet. It's just from what I've seen. I've seen videos of that game running on the PS5, and I didn't think that game could look any better. Then they run it on the PS5, and it looks fucking incredible. I have to be biased and say that Outer Worlds is a really good deal for $20.
Outer Worlds is a good deal at almost any price. Just because,
I mean, that's literally the developer that made my favorite video game of all time. So I might be a little biased in that, but have you ever played Outer Worlds on PC?
I haven't played it on PC yet.
Oh my god, it's so good on PC. With an SSD, like I that's where I kind of noticed the difference between a standard hard drive and an SSD. Because I'm not joking you, Outer Worlds load times on my PC are less than 5 seconds.
Oh, that's fucking nuts.
Like it literally, like it's the loading times are so quick that the full load screen menu, like the little visual that it shows you, it's so quick that does not have time to load up properly. And that's incredible. But if you got $20 to spend and don't know what the fuck to spend it on, buy Outer Worlds. If you have a PS4 or 5.
Yeah.
Oh god, dude, that game's gonna look so good on PS5. Oh.
So I think that Fire Emblem is a very niche game in terms of its fan base. Like the fan base, I think, is very small, but very, very vocal about how much they love it. And I would love to see it.
Yeah, they're vocal.
Yeah. I would love to see it gain a bigger following than it does, because I genuinely think that the last 3 games that have been released with Three Houses, Awakening, and the other 3DS title that I can't remember the name of at the moment. I think all 3 of them have been good to excellent. And I think that Three Houses might actually be the best Fire Emblem game. And I think a lot of people sleep on it because it is a niche title. But also I really think that, like, if you're a parent out there and are looking for something good, if you are going to buy a Switch, I think one of the first things that you should do is get Splatoon, because it is really a great, I really think that Splatoon is a lot of fun, and it is the perfect thing for, like, if you don't want to introduce your kids to like Call of Duty level violence, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
give them
I feel
Splatoon,
that.
and it's like, it's a cute little shooter that still has that violent tendency to it, but it's like cartoon violence. You know what I mean?
Instead of bullets, you're shooting paint.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, absolutely. Okay, I understand where you're coming from with that. I'm personally not a huge fan of Splatoon. But I think that has a lot more to do with Nintendo servers than anything. Oh,
yeah. That is the one downside to any sort of Nintendo game. If you're buying it for multiplayer purposes, maybe don't do that.
Dude, you better have a fiber connection and hardwire that fucking dock. That's all I'm going to say, because otherwise you ain't getting shit.
But, you know, in terms of other things that really stand out to me, I really think Control. I really think people slip on that game, and I really think it's excellent, and I think that people should look into that. And I also want to give a shout out to Rogue Squadrons being on sale. I have nothing but really great things about that game, and I would not have expected it to be half off already.
Yeah, honestly, I might pick that up on PC.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like that game, I have heard that game plays better on PC than it does anything.
I've heard the same thing.
Just immersion wise. Another one that really stands out to me is going to be another PlayStation exclusive, and that is the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yeah,
I think where's it at? The cheapest place that I found it is Target is going to have it for $25. Okay. And I think that's a fucking steal, considering I paid $60 for it like a month ago. But, you know, I'm not mad or anything.
Be mad. Get glad.
But yeah, I think that's really cool. Luckily, even if I sell if I get a PS5 and sell my PS4 to David, I'm actually still keeping Persona 5 Royal and Final Fantasy 7 because he doesn't want to play them. The only thing I have physically he wants is Spider-Man. So luckily I don't have to buy those again. Yeah. But what's another one? I think The Last of Us Part 1, for regardless of how you feel about The Last of Us Part 2.
I'm actually going to recommend the last thing that I was going to say is, if you don't own PlayStation Plus already, you need to get PlayStation Plus because it will also be on sale. How much did you say for?
It's $45 for a year.
Okay, so $45 for a year. It's usually $60 for a year.
Yeah, and then
monthly, it's what $10 a month, I think.
Yeah, it's $10 a month. And then for a 3-month subscription, it's $20.
Okay. But
as opposed to, what is it normally, 30?
I think 25.
Okay. So I mean, $5 off, but that's still cool.
Yeah. So I would recommend picking that up if you're not only if you're getting a PS4, because I think it has a lot of extra value to it, but like if you got a PS5, the PlayStation Plus is coming with the PlayStation Plus collection or whatever the hell they're calling it, which is coming with Uncharted 4. It's coming with The Last of Us Remastered. It's coming with God of War. It's coming with, God, I don't even remember. It's like all of these really.
So what's that system called?
The what?
So what is it that comes with PlayStation Plus on PS5?
With the PlayStation Plus, it's called like the PlayStation Plus Collection.
Yeah, that's what it's called. I'm looking at it right now. So here's my thing with that. Are those... Do you stream those games like you do in PlayStation Now?
No. They are yours to download and play.
Okay. So I don't have to buy God of War or The Last of Us Part 1 then, if I manage to. Okay.
I mean, they're worth it if you're going to get them for $10. I think they're well worth the $10. But like, if you're getting a PS5, which is $400 to $500, and I mean, the coronavirus, the pandemic stuff has really ravaged the economy. And so, like, you might not have enough, but for like one game, and your one game might be Call of Duty. But I would wholeheartedly recommend getting PlayStation Plus, because then you get access to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, I'm looking at
7,
the list
8,
right
9,
now.
10, like 14 games, and they're all. I mean, I haven't played The Last Guardian, so I won't count it. But I've played all of the rest of these games, and I can vouch that they're all really great games.
Mm-hmm. I really wanted to play Detroit Become Human.
It's the best Quantic Dream game for sure.
There's a Gundam reference in Detroit Become Human?
I did not.
Supposedly. I don't know if it's ever been confirmed that it's a Gundam reference, but if you look at a map or a globe, I think there's like a sequence. There's like an area that there's like a map of the world or whatever. If you look on that map, Australia is not there. And apparently, according to Reddit, that's actually a Gundam reference, because in the original Gundam, like Universal Century timeline, the Principality of Zeon drops a colony, and it pretty much nukes Australia, like the whole continent. So apparently, I don't know if that's true or not, that it is confirmed to be a Gundam reference, but according to Reddit, it is.
Yeah, well, it is Reddit you're talking about.
Yeah, it's still cool, though. It's still cool to draw that correlation between like a... What would you describe Detroit Become Human? Like a cyberpunk almost kind of thing?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, okay. Yeah.
I've never played it, I've never watched anything about it. So that'd be cool to pick up. Yeah, honestly, I'm being real. You just talked me into definitely picking up PlayStation Plus if I can get a PS5.
Oh, I think it's worth it even on like a PS4, because you get the free games every month. You get the access to the online servers. You get access to cloud saves. Like, there are a bunch of things that make PlayStation Plus totally worth it.
Dude, I'm looking at it. They even have like Arkham Knight, Battlefield 1, Fallout 4, which isn't good, but I mean, that's another thing.
Yeah.
Persona 5 is even a part of that.
Yeah. It's not Royal, obviously, but like you get the original Persona.
Monster Hunter World, that's fucking cool. But yeah, and Infamous Second Son, that's another PlayStation exclusive that I have yet to touch.
It's very good.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I've heard it's very, like, you either like it or you don't.
I don't understand the people who don't like it, to be honest with you. Like,
really,
I understand if you were a fan of the first Infamous games and you feel like it's different, because it is different. But like, different isn't bad necessarily.
Okay, well, shit, I'd fucking hyped now, bro.
Yeah.
If I can get a PS5, I'll be playing the fuck out of some of those. Obviously not at once, because I can't afford an external memory system.
Yeah, the PS5 is only coming with, what is it? Like, it's only
650 actual gigabits that you can use.
Yeah. So
the other like 200 is taken up by system necessities and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is fucking stupid, but whatever. That's another thing.
It is what it is.
So,
cool. Well, why don't we move over to what we've been playing?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I talked a little bit on the last podcast with Dylan about a little indie game called Iconfell. I've played a little bit more of that. I genuinely don't have much more to say about it other than it's still just as charming. I think that the little battle mechanic where it's kind of like the rhythm game is getting a little tiresome for me.
Yeah.
But with that said, it is a interesting change to the formula of tactical RPGs. So, I mean, it's welcome, but it is kind of getting a little bit on my nerves. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I think I read somewhere that there's an option where you can turn it on or like turn it off to where it just kind of does it automatically. And I might do that because it is one of those things that has like, I like the more tactical approach. Like the reason that I like Fire Emblem so much is that like I like being able to move my troops around and like do what I need to do with them and like plan out my attacks.
Yeah.
And like Iconfell's like core combat is built around that same mechanic, but the added thing of like adding a rhythm component to the attacks themselves kind of like I'm just like, ugh. You know?
Yeah.
But I
understand that.
The story and the characters are still super charming. I still am like in love with the music. I think the music in this game is fucking fantastic, and I will be gunning for it for sure when we get to our Game of the Year episodes.
Doom Eternal best score.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me about Call of Duty Cold War or Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War?
There's not really much to say about it because it's a COD game. I don't play campaign in COD games. I'm going to be honest. I don't play campaign in any first-person shooter except Halo and Doom. That's just kind of how I am. I just don't really give a fuck about them. I'm going to be honest with you. This is a hot take.
Oh, gosh.
Treyarch does COD better. I like Cold War more than I like Modern Warfare.
I'm gonna give you. So you've only played the multiplayer, right?
Yes. Yeah. I can't speak for campaign because I don't play them.
Okay.
I actively choose not to play them.
I'm not 100% sure where the development duties lie because Raven has been a support team for these games for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And they're getting top billing on this game. So I'm assuming that they were brought in because originally, I don't know if you kept up with Call of Duty, but originally...
No, I'm going to be honest. I don't. I just play them when they come out.
Okay.
Honestly. Like, that's just mindless multiplayer for me.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So, no, not particularly.
So the first Call of Duty and then going into Call of Duty 2, both of those games were developed by Infinity Ward. And then they brought on a second, or I don't know that they brought on so much as like another team came in and was like, I want to make a Call of Duty game too. And Treyarch was that team. And they came in and made like a sort of like a 2.5 with, what was it called? Big Red 1, I think. Mm-hmm. And then it, with Call of Duty 3, became like a 2-team thing where Infinity Ward would take one and then Treyarch would take one. And it was kind of that way all the way up until, if I remember correctly, the first 3-team structure with Sledgehammer coming in was at the beginning of last generation. So it began with Ghost, or like it ended with Black Ops 2. That was the last one on the 360. And then it went to Ghost, which was Infinity Ward. And then it was Advanced Warfare, which was Sledgehammer. And they traded off like that for a whole nother cycle with, what was it? After Ghost was Black Ops 3. Or no, was Advanced Warfare. Then it was Black Ops 3. And then it went to Infinite Warfare. And then it went to, what was it? World War II?
World War II. And then it was Black Ops 4.
And then Black Ops 4, yeah. And then, so it came back around and it was Modern Warfare. And then this year was supposed to be Sledgehammer's game. But at some point, they were taken off the development and the reins were handed over to Raven and Treyarch. So that was a very long way of me saying that Raven is getting top billing in this game. And I think it's because of the campaign, and Treyarch kind of came in to help with the multiplayer.
Word.
So with all of that said, I don't think that that's necessarily a hot take. Back in the day, it definitely fucking would have been, because Modern Warfare 1 and Modern Warfare 2, their multiplayers were significantly better than almost anything that Treyarch had done at the time.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But I genuinely think that you're doing yourself a disservice by not playing at the very least, the last 2 campaigns I think have been really, really solid.
Yeah, I've heard that. People yell at me all the fucking time that I haven't played it yet, but it's first person shooters, man. Like,
no, I get it.
I just don't care about them.
Call of Duty. Like, you know what you're getting. You're getting a fucking high budget action movie. I get it.
If you want me to turn your stomach upside down for a second,
God.
The last COD campaign I've played was Ghost.
Jesus.
Here's a worse fact.
Sir.
It's the only COD campaign I've ever played.
Oh, God.
You're
killing me. That's like one of the worst ones.
No, okay, I take that back. I did play Black Ops 2.
Oh, God, that one's bad, too.
Yeah, it's just first-person shooters, man. I don't give a fuck about them in the slightest. Honestly, I wouldn't be playing Cold War if the homie I game share with on PS4 didn't buy it. I wouldn't be playing it. I wouldn't have fucking spent money on it. It's just not something I fucking care about. Also, did you see if you have PlayStation Plus this month, you get Hollow Knight? That's cool.
Yep. Yeah, you're getting Hollow Knight and
Shadow of War.
Yep.
And Bug Snacks if you have a PS5.
Yeah, you're actually getting Bug Snacks all the way up through like the middle of January, I think.
Yeah, why am I so excited for Bug Snacks?
Because you're a fucking weirdo.
Because I'm a child?
I'm going to go with weirdo.
It's Pokemon Snap, bro. It's Pokemon Snap with candy and little fucking bugs. That's what it is.
Feed the animals and then they become the things that they eat. It's fucking weird, man.
And it's cute. Leave it alone. It's cute.
It's like a little walrus guy who's like, here, feed this strawberry a strawberry. And look, now it's a strawberry.
Yeah.
Like,
you have it from 11/12 all the way to January 4th. So
okay.
You got a long time. You got a good long time to snag yourself a PS5. Can you imagine that is one of the flagships for the PS5 right now? Is
strange, man.
You download Bug Snacks, bro.
Here, have this worm eat a watermelon. Now it's a watermelon worm. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What does Xbox have? Nothing. What does PlayStation have?
Bug snacks.
We got Miles Morales and bug snacks. It's cool, right, guys? So I'm low key genuinely excited to play bug snacks.
Yeah.
I think it's cute. It'll be something cute that me and Josie can sit there and do.
That's fair. Yeah, you do have kids.
I'm excited to play Astroworld too, dude. Everyone I know that's like, dude, I know this is meant to be a tech demo, but it's fun.
If you are like big into PlayStation history, apparently it's super cool because there's so many like little Easter eggs.
Yeah, I've heard that.
PlayStation pop culture and stuff.
Did you also know that the logo, like the PlayStation logo on the PS2 can turn? I didn't know that.
I've never tried, but
it can.
That's cool.
I didn't know that. Now you know. No, and knowing is half the battle.
What is the old NBC thing? The more you know, the little star.
Do you remember Reading Rainbow, or are you too old for that?
I'm a little bit old for that.
Dude, I loved Reading Rainbow. It had the dude from Star Trek.
I'm glad that's what you know him from.
All right, I know him from Star Trek, yeah. Even though I'm not a Star Trek fan.
So I also have been playing Avengers. Mm-hmm. So now that my Series X is here, I wanted to play it again and see what the hype was about. Because I remember you telling me that you liked the game initially.
Mm-hmm. I did initially, yeah.
And in the Discords that I'm in, there are several guys who are like, this game is really good. You should, give it a shot or whatever. And I remember playing it on my 1S and thinking, dude, this looks like shit. It plays like shit. Like I'm just going to wait. I know that some of those issues got alleviated with like patches and stuff like that. But I will say this. I do think that it looks extraordinarily better on my Series X than it did on my 1S.
Okay.
So the visuals have definitely made me like. There are still some things with the textures where I'm like, I don't know about this. Maybe this was like a coding error or something like that. But some of the textures still look muddy as fuck.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I think that it looks significantly better, and that's not hampering my experience like it was on the 1S.
Yeah.
I've gotten through the little like series of levels where you first meet Hulk as Kamala. Mm-hmm. And I'm just past that. And the story is still not gripping me, which is super weird considering that like Crystal Dynamics' first two Tomb Raider games, I was like immersed in like full fucking force.
Yeah.
And this one is just kind of like, I don't really know what to say. Like I'm not into it. The characters, specifically Kamala, I think I like, or at the very least, like I like her personality and the actress who's portraying her. Like I like her performance, but I kind of feel like all the characters are just bland, and like I don't really care about like anything that's going on. But I don't know.
I mean, I'm glad that somebody likes Kamala. That's good.
I'm going to continue to play it. I think that I think that the gameplay is fine. It is what it is.
Yeah. It's average at best.
Yeah, like it's fine. But I want to at least get through the story so I can get to the end game stuff and see how I like it, because apparently like it rips almost the entirety of its end game stuff from Destiny, and I think Destiny's got one of the most addictive gameplay loops of any of those like live service games, probably the most addictive.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
It's not going to make it very far on our Game of the Year episodes. I'll tell you that much.
No, it will not.
But apparently something that will be is Miles Morales, which you've been playing. So tell me Miles Morales.
So as of, what was it, yesterday, I have 100%ed Miles Morales.
Ooh, nice.
It took me roughly maybe, I would say, 20 to 22 hours to 100% the base game.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I haven't played New Game Plus yet because I was waiting to see if I was able to snag a PS5 from Walmart tomorrow before I do. Because I would like to try New Game Plus out on the new technology. So technically, I haven't 100% completed it because there are basically you have 4 gadgets and each one has 4 upgrade slots. You cannot purchase the last upgrade slot on each gadget until you played New Game Plus. And there's also 3 skills in the skill tree that you cannot purchase until you've played New Game Plus. And the very last suit in the game is actually unobtainable until you play New Game Plus. Mm-hmm. So technically, according to the game, I have 100%ed the first playthrough.
Okay.
In order to 100% and platinum the game, I still need to do some ridiculously obnoxious challenges. And dude, yeah, I think one of the trophies for PlayStation is like web or wall take down 200 enemies or something. Very tedious. But so I'm holding off. But what I can say so far, and I don't want to spoil the game for you because I know you're kind of holding off to see if you can get a PS5 before you try it out.
Yes.
Without spoiling anything, this game does a fantastic fucking job at... Yeah, of course it's like the first one and you feel like Spider-Man. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. This game did everything right that the first one did while improving the very, very, very minor issues I had with the first game. Miles has so much more, I'm not going to say more, but so much different of a personality when it comes to web swinging and even the combat that Peter does. And he feels like a different character. It doesn't just feel like you're playing as a reskinned Peter Parker. Like he feels genuinely like his own character in this universe. And I think Insomniac did an incredible job building that foundation on that. Also, this game is wholesome as fuck, sir.
You're all about that kitty cat.
Oh, dude. Oh, God, the fucking cat, dude. That was the greatest thing. And honestly, 10 out of 10, game of the centuries for the cat suit. But even that mission, the first story mission where you're introduced to that cat, you meet the guy who owns this kind of convenience store on the corner, and Spider-Man says, hey, like, I saw you were robbed. Like, what happened? Can you tell me who robbed you? And the owner of the store is just kind of like, God, like, couldn't the real Spider-Man answer my call for help? Like, why does it have to be this new kid that nobody cares about? Mm-hmm. Pretty much. And so it kind of hit Miles that he realizes that he's trying to be Spider-Man, but he's also still living in Peter's shadow at the same time.
Yeah.
And that has a lot to do with the main story. There's a sequence where his friend Genki is talking to him, and he's like, look, like, every time you mention Spider-Man, you're talking about the other guy. But he was like, you are Spider-Man. Like, this is you now.
Yeah.
So you need to go out there and you need to be your own. And that's really what the game was about, was Miles finding his way under the mask. And I'm not going to spoil the ending or anything. I'm not going to spoil any major plot details. But pretty much by the end of the game, the people in Harlem, which is the main neighborhood part of the map that Miles lives in and helps people at, the people in Harlem are asked who that Spider-Man is. And one of the citizens is just kind of like, oh, well, like, that's our Spider-Man. Like, he is our neighborhood Spider-Man. Okay. And it was just so fucking wholesome. Also, have you seen the screen that comes up after you watch the credits? Have you seen the tribute that comes up?
No.
Oh boy, I'm gonna let you see that on your own.
Oh.
because it literally had me in tears on my couch. I was so like, I did not expect it at all. There's a really cool, like, you know how Stan Lee had the cameo in the first game?
Yes. Yeah.
Outside of that diner in Miles Morales, there's now actually just a statue of Stan Lee.
Oh, that's cool.
And I think that was really cool. There's also even a street. There's a street in the game that if you look at the street sign, it's called Bozeman Way.
Oh.
And I think that's really cool. There's a Black Lives Matter mural that you can see. That's honestly, if you like swing past it and you don't see it, you're fucking blind because it's huge. And I think that's really cool. A lot of people are upset at Miles because they feel like that Insomniac put politics into the game, which I wholeheartedly fucking disagree that Black Lives Matter is even a political thing in the first place, but that's a completely different topic for a completely different kind of show.
Yeah.
But I can see, and I really don't want this to sound the way that I feel like it sounds, because I feel like it might almost sound, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to sound, but I am very happy to see my friends of color have this game, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm very happy that Miles Morales came out at the time that it did. I love that they put a Black Lives Matter mural in the game. I think that was fantastic. I think that was something that needed to happen. And they did a really good job at bringing diversity into the game. There's a scene where as Miles is like walking down the street, he meets this artist, and she's just kind of painting a mural of Peter's Spider-Man on the side of the wall. And Miles tries to talk to her and she doesn't answer. And Miles is like, okay, well, you know, maybe she's just listening to music. And she turns around and she starts signing to him like she's deaf. And I thought that was really cool because she is she's not really a major character, but she is at the same time. And I think they're doing a really good job at representation. And I think that's a part of what makes the game so wholesome.
Mm-hmm.
But that game is a 10 out of 10 for me. Yeah, it's incredibly short, but I don't know why the game is as short as it is, but I'm imagining it's because it was a cross-generation title. Maybe that's why. Maybe it was just time constraints. Maybe it was, a million other factors. But the game is short. The story is roughly about 10 hours, I would say. And then if you want to do all the side missions and shit, I'd say you're looking at 15 hours. And then if you want a 100% a playthrough, I'd say you're looking at 20 to 22. Oh. So it's got some play to it. Is it worth $50 for just the PS4? I'm going to be honest, I don't think so. I think $50 is a lot for that. However, take into consideration that if you purchase the game digitally, if you get a PS5, it will automatically upgrade to the PS5 version, and it will even give you an offer to pay $20 to receive the ultimate upgrade, so you receive Spider-Man Remastered. Mm-hmm. And I personally feel like $70 for both Miles Morales and Spider-Man Remaster are a good deal. I feel like that's worth the money to me. Mm-hmm. But that could also just be biased at how I actually enjoy those games. I think I even texted it to you guys. I don't think I've said it on an episode of the podcast, but I genuinely regret not putting the first Spider-Man game in my top 5 in the first episode.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
I genuinely regret that. I feel like that game is probably 3 or 4, slot 3 or 4.
Damn.
I don't know, man. I think Insomniac is just killing it. And I think that it's not even that they make the good games. It's how attentive they are to their fan base.
Yeah.
Because they're releasing an update on the PS4 version of Spider-Man on Thanksgiving to add the new suits that were included in the remaster. And they didn't have to fucking do that.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Also, the whole thing with Peter's face, I shat on it before and it grew on me. I like it more now. It grows on you.
I don't know. I'm still not very.
No, I get it, dude. I wasn't either until I played it. Until I played Miles Morales. It kind of grows on you. I'm not going to lie. Even though you really don't see him that much. You see him at the beginning of the game and you see him at the very fucking end. But I have heard that people playing the remaster, it does grow on you after a while. And apparently the only reason why they changed the face was because the original actor wanted more money.
Yeah, that's what I kind of fucking knew that was the situation. Considering how fucking crazy well it sold, but
he just wanted more money. But I don't know, dude. I think it's fine. I think he does look like an off-brand Tom Holland, but I like them both for different reasons, I guess. The newer face model kind of reminds me of that young Peter Parker that he's really supposed to be. Because, I mean, he's only like 22 or 23 in the first game. So he's not that old.
Yeah.
I could be wrong about that, but I feel like I remember reading he's only 22 or 23 in the first game.
I think he had been doing it for like 5 years or something like that. Which
he'd been doing it for 8 years.
At
the time the first game came,
which would sound about right because 15.
Yeah,
he's in high school. Yeah, I mean that's that.
But I do also like the original model for the reason that I feel like that's what a 23-year-old Peter Parker dealing with the stuff he deals with would look like. You know, just the kind of like he looks older than he is because he deals with a lot and stressed out and probably doesn't get enough sleep or a good diet.
Yeah.
So I like them for different reasons, but definitely just give the new Peter a shot. It might grow on you. It's somewhat grown on me. I have to kind of reserve that until I play the remaster, which will either be next week or 2 years from now. So we'll see.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Cool. Well, that's what we've been playing. I wrote down a interesting bit of news before we get to our picks of the week.
Mm-hmm.
So in an interview with who was it? What was the TASS? I think is yeah, TASS is the website. So I assume this is the publication who he was being interviewed by. Mm-hmm. In the interview, they asked him, 1 week after the launch in select markets, how are sales going? And this is his exact quote. Everything is sold. Absolutely everything is sold. And this part is not relevant, but he said, and everything will be sold in Russia. There's no doubt about that. But he said, I've spent much of the last year trying to be sure that we can generate enough demand for the product. And now in terms of my executive bandwidth, I'm spending a lot more time on trying to increase supply to meet that demand. So, here's why I thought that was relevant. One, I'm pretty sure that the same stories have been coming out about the Xbox Series X, and not the same stories have been coming out, but I'm pretty sure that's the same exact thing with the Xbox Series X. That like all of the consoles are sold out. I'm sure that they're actively trying to manufacture more, but I'm pretty sure that like everything that they've pushed to stores and stuff like that, everything is sold to retailers to sell to customers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With that said, I'm genuinely unsure why these executives in these positions. This isn't a Sony thing specifically. It's just that this was in the news. So I wanted to, this was the interview given. It was not like if Phil Spencer had been giving an interview and said the same exact thing, I would still be talking about it regardless of it's Xbox or not. It just so happens to be PlayStation. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck these executives were doing when they were hyping up these consoles and they were like, you got to get these consoles. They're going to be great, blah, blah, blah. Knowing what they knew with the pandemic. Like, I'm sure that at a certain point, like, it's hard for you to kind of, like, slow down the machine that you've kind of, like, it's hard to turn a boat, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's very hard to get a boat turned all the way around and going in the right direction. It takes time. But, like, these motherfuckers knew that lockdowns and stuff like that were coming in March and April. This is the same thing I had with Cyberpunk. At a certain point in the year, you were seeing that things weren't changing. You're still working from home. You're still having supply constraints. You're still seeing all this stuff. So why are you still hyping up consoles that you can't fucking sell to anyone? I just don't understand what the strategy here is.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that you want to sell as much as possible, but like, dude, push it back another year then. Or you don't even have to push it back a year. But fucking Nintendo proved that you could launch it in fucking March. They launched theirs in March of 2017, and the thing sold like gangbusters, dude. Like, you did not have to launch this console this year in November.
Yeah.
Same thing goes for the Xbox. I got one, and I'm happy with it. I think it's a great little console. But I just don't get like you have like you increased demand to the point that it was like, oh shit, like we're not going to be able to meet the demand because we're having issues with supply constraints. Like we can't get all the components we need. Like, so then what the fuck are you doing still fucking trying to increase demand? What is wrong with you? If like, I don't understand what the fucking plan is here.
No,
these consoles, like they should.
I don't think anyone does. Yeah,
they just should have. They should have been delayed into next year once we had the pandemic taken care of. With like whether it be like the vaccine or whether it has been like through lockdowns or whatever the case may be, we should have gotten through the pandemic so that then we weren't worried about supplies. We weren't worried about fucking, like the components needed. We weren't worried about trying to sell to people when they don't have jobs. We should have fucking, well, not we, because we're not in control of that stuff, but like they should have delayed these consoles. I think just period. And I think it's really irresponsible for them to like again, like I feel like I'm a hypocrite because I got a Series X, you know what I mean? Like I feel kind of like a hypocrite, but it's like, dude,
not at all.
If you could not have sold this to a mass audience the way that you wanted to, then why the fuck did you do it?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any fucking sense. And then on top of that, like you have to deal with like attrition with the scalpers every fucking time that a new thing comes out. But like, bro, you knew that supplies were going to be constrained and you still like, there are thousands of PS5s sitting on eBay that people are going to pay like double for.
If not more. Dude, I saw one go on eBay for $3,000 the other day.
And that's like
mind-numbing.
That's Sony's fault.
Yeah.
Just
I wholeheartedly agree with you.
Sony's fucking fault. Like you can, well, it's not their fault that like, you know, people bought them and they're scalping them. Like, but it is. It is.
Yeah.
Because they released it into this specific market when they could have waited.
And I agree with you. I completely understand that. I think due to what Walmart has been kind of dropping over the last couple of days and what they've been saying, I'm not going to lie. I think that some of these retailers have more stock of each than what we think that they do. Personally, to me, I think the reason why they're dropping them the way they're dropping them is to maximize profit and maximize who's buying them. I definitely think that there's more of this stock sitting around in Walmart warehouses, Target warehouses, and GameStop warehouses than we think there are. Because it's like what Walmart said. Walmart has literally basically come out and said that they will have enough stock tomorrow for, even bots included, to have it up on the website for at a minimum of 30 minutes. But I also think it's fucking ridiculous that they have to specify that in the fucking first place. So regardless or not, I agree with you. They should have been pushed back to at a minimum of maybe March or April of next year. Because like you said, Nintendo has proven that can be done and it works. They have hands down shown that can be done and it works. At the same time, I'm still going to buy one. I'm still going to go for it. You know what I mean? Yeah, like, I'm still going to fucking try for it.
I feel like a fucking hypocrite because I got my hands on a Series X. But like,
yeah.
I just don't understand.
Oh, fuck, dude. I didn't know they made pops for the Spider-Man game. Fuck me. I'm about to buy those.
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry. I have a problem. A total side note. Ask Madison what it was like when I was pop collecting, and she'll tell you that she wanted to leave me. I'm not joking you. I went into a store that was a secondhand pop store where they sold like big exclusives that are hard to find. Take a wild guess as to how much money I spent before I walked out of that door.
Oh, God. I don't know. I'm...
Throw a number out.
$100.
More.
Oh my God.
You want to know?
Yeah. No, not really.
I spent $600 before I walked out of that store.
Damn it, dude.
Yeah, I spent $600 before I walked out of that store. However, please understand, I am not a piece of shit. My single child at the time was fed and my bills were paid. I had a lot of money back then, much more than I do now. But $600. I bought every Dragon Ball exclusive that existed up until that point. So
I mean, fair enough. I did that.
And then I sold them, and I literally made more than that back, so it was cool. But back to PlayStation 5. So trust me, by saying that I was a very heavy pop collector and pop hunter, I understand the bots and scalping, and I fucking get it. But like you said, Sony has no one to blame but them fucking selves.
Yep.
I also think it's not only that. I blame the people on YouTube. Who are posting tutorials on how to do it and how to make sure how to make sure that you've secured 10 plus PS5s for yourself. I do blame those motherfuckers too. I also blame the fucking websites for not having protection against that shit in the fucking first place.
Yeah, I agree.
Which again, going back to Walmart, according to Walmart, there will be bot protection up tomorrow. According to Walmart's own words, bots will be unable to purchase that stock tomorrow. I've talked to a couple buddies about that who have pretty much said that honestly, Walmart can say that all they want to, but it's physically impossible to stop that. There's somebody who has the skills and has the know-how that's going to find their way around that. Apparently it's something in like the coding of the website, because all the PS5s that Walmart is releasing tomorrow are only going to have the option of store pickup. They are not going to have the option to ship it to your house. It is just going to be store pickup.
Gotcha.
And apparently because of that, something about the way that works with having to choose a store and having to see which stores near you have the stock for your order, apparently that alone makes it unable for bots to purchase. I don't really know how. I don't really understand all that because I barely know how to work the computer that I own. So I don't know. I agree with you. I think it's fucking stupid that I think both companies are making really bad decisions this year. We say that as we consume their bad decisions.
Yeah, right.
This is a gaming podcast. We're supposed to buy it, all right?
Right. Exactly.
We're like we have an unpaid obligation to do this, so you don't have to.
Exactly.
God, we need to start getting paid for this.
Well, tell your boys. But before your boys pay us, I'm gonna give them a little bit of value, right? With a little thing called a pick of the week.
Oh, okay. I like the transition for that. That was right. Clever.
So mine is just a YouTube video from, I don't know if anyone's noticed a trend, but I spent a lot of time on YouTube.
Yeah.
So my pick of the week is Loverboy Media's video on Mission Impossible Fallout. I don't know why I said that weird. But it's literally just titled Why I Love Mission Impossible Fallout. And he does a really great job of breaking down why it is one of the best action movies to come out in the last, I don't know, fucking 20 years. Like, Mission Impossible Fallout is wonderful. And it's an actual, like, movie-making feat. I don't know how the fuck they managed to get Tom Cruise, who's fucking all of, 50 plus years old and fucking 5'5" or whatever, to do these insane stunts, but he's still doing them. And Fallout actually has a really awesome like tie-in with the other the past 3 movies that came before it, that I normally you wouldn't expect, because most of the time, Mission Impossible is kind of like a James Bond sort of thing, where it's just like each movie is not connected to the next sort of thing. But he breaks down why it's just a really, really fucking great movie, and he makes really good videos. They're really well edited. This one in particular, I think, is his best edited video. And I just think it's worth a watch. It's only about 30 minutes long.
Hell yeah.
Check it out.
Fun fact, I've never seen a Mission Impossible movie.
Really?
Yeah. I want to know how often do I say things on this podcast that like physically infuriate you?
Honestly, that doesn't really physically infuriate me, because I've if you're not into action movies, like if you see a Mission Impossible movie on, you're going to switch the channel. You know what I mean? But like if you like movies as a general rule, or you like action movies, then I would be a little bit more upset.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair.
Because I genuinely do think, with the exception of probably Mission Impossible 2, and even that has its charm, I would honestly say that all of those movies are good to great in terms of filmmaking. And the last 2 in particular, I think, have been damn near excellent.
Yeah.
So, anyway, yeah, they're good movies. You should check them out.
Okay, cool. Hell yeah. We'll definitely do that.
And your pick of the week, sir, is?
Yes. My pick of the week is actually the soundtrack for the Miles Morales game. I'm not going to lie. I've been listening to it while I've been working. And it's got, I don't know how you feel about like modern rap music and R&B. Dude, I've been fucking vibing to that shit. That soundtrack was incredible. I love that they used predominantly. I don't know about the orchestral scores and stuff like that, but I know for like the actual songs themselves, they obviously pretty much only used African American artists to kind of help represent that game. The soundtrack is incredible. It's got some fucking bangers on it. I never thought I'd hear a song by Jaden Smith that I liked, but he proved me wrong. It's got some really cool shit on it, and if you're into R&B and rap music, check that shit out, dude. That shit was bumping. And it's clean for your kids, for the most part. There's one that's not so much, but for the most part, it's clean. So your kids can enjoy that too, if they like Spider-Man. But maybe stick away from some of them. There's a couple of obscenities. Actually, I think even the only song that has what I guess you could call an obscenity in it is there's a song that says the N-word in the chorus, but I don't know. I don't really consider that an obscenity. Am I even saying that word right?
Yeah, obscenity. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only word that I would think someone might, but to be honest, I don't. So I don't know. That's just a word that my daughter knows that she shouldn't say. So it doesn't bother me. But yeah, that's it.
Awesome.
That is it.
Well, that was our show.
Yeah, this was a quickie little episode. It always is when Dylan's not here to fuck something up.
Dylan.
We're kidding. We love you.
We do. Well, as always, you can find us on social media for all things Culture Bop, Hunting Pixels, and the Culture Bop family of content. Hunting Pixels, you can follow on Twitter at Pixels Hunting and on Instagram at hunting_pixels_CB. I am on Twitter at TheBebopMan182 and on Instagram at BebopMan182. Dylan is available on Twitter at OMDizzy and on Instagram at OMDizzy. And Austin is on Twitter at Big Papa Plays and on Instagram at Big Papa Stevens _. All three of us have individual YouTube channels. I actually just run mine under the Culture Bop banner, so go check out those videos. I am actively working on one that I think is really good. And it'll be out hopefully by... I hope to have it out by the end of the year because the rest of the year is going to be really busy. So, but we'll see.
We shall see.
Dylan is OMDizzy over there. He's doing a bunch of Let's Plays, and he's actually started streaming over on Twitch at OMDizzy TV. So go check that out. And Austin, you are Big Papa Plays over on YouTube. So,
yep, I sure am.
Go check that stuff out, fellas. But that's it. We're out of here. I'm going to go get some sleep before a long day of work tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
So, in the meantime, we will see you next week.